Hey guys, today is Wednesday, May 6th, and we are on Skills Day 31. Today we are going to review our spelling words, and we're going to review punctuation and do a reader story. So let's first start off with going over our spelling words for the week. We have escape, rain, hair, explain, stay, stray, display, raindrop, stairway, and tricky word use. So make sure you're practicing those so you'll be ready for your quiz on Friday with those, okay? So let's review a little bit of punctuation. We know we've been using punctuation most of the year, okay? We know that periods, question marks, and exclamation points are all punctuation used at the end of a sentence. Let me try a sentence. I'll write a sentence up on the board. Here's my sentence. All right, there's my sentence. I can sit and wait. What is missing from my sentence? I have no punctuation. I need a punctuation. Do I need a question mark, an exclamation mark, or a period? Yell it out to me. Just a period, yeah, it's just a statement. I can sit and wait. That's just a statement. Let's see. Let's try this one. Can we go on a trip? I have no punctuation. I need punctuation. Do I need a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark? Good job. I'm asking a question. Can we go on a trip? So I need a question mark. Good job. All right, one more. Let's see. All right, I am so glad to see you. When I see you guys again, that's what I'm going to say. And what will I need at the end of my sentence? If I say, I am so glad to see you, do I need a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark? Good job. I said that with excitement. I need an exclamation mark. That's an exciting sentence. I am so glad to see you. All right, I want you guys to practice with me. So get your kitty cat book and pull out 9.2 and 10.2. Okay, we need both of those. 9.2 and 10.2. All right, they're both really short. We'll start with 9.2. And we're going to add our punctuation. Okay, number 1. The flag's stripes are green, white, and red. All right, we are going to add, they want us to add our punctuation at the end, and if we need commas, we got to add those too, okay? So this is encompassing our punctuation that we've learned, okay? The flag stripes are green, white, and red. First of all, what goes at the end? Good job, a period. That's just a statement, so we'll put our period. And I see a list in this sentence, so if we see a list, we know we need commas. So where are our commas going to go? The flag stripes are green, white, and red. Our list is green, white, and red, so green, comma, white, comma. We don't put a period after and. We don't need, a comma. We don't put a comma after and. We don't need one there, okay? Number 2, Kay has coleslaw, pork chops, corn, and green greens on her plate. So, first of all, what goes at the end? That's just a statement, so a period is fine. Kate has coleslaw, pork chops, corn, and green beans on her plate. All right, I see a list. It's a kind of a long list, actually. So, where is our list? What all does she have on her plate? She has coleslaw, pork chops, corn, and greens. So, we're going to slide in some commas. Kay has coleslaw, comma, pork chops, comma, corn, comma, and greens on her plate. We don't need a comma after and, okay? Our commas come before and. All right. Do you like to play, draw, or run? First of all, what comes at the end? Do I need a period, question mark, or exclamation mark? Yell it out to me. Good job. We need a question mark because this is a question. Do you like to play, draw, or run? Question mark. Now, I see a list, so we're going to need to add some commas. Do you like to play, draw, or run? There's my list. Play, comma, draw, comma, or run. Number 4. The Mexican dish has peppers, corn, and rice all mixed up. So what's going to come at the end of my sentence? Good job. Just a period is fine. I just made a statement, okay? I wasn't excited about it. I didn't ask a question. So I just need a period. I just made a general statement. I do see a list, so we're going to need to add some commas. The Mexican dish has peppers, corn, and rice all mixed up. So here's my list. Peppers, comma, corn, comma, and rice all mixed up. Number 5. Are the red and green dishes the same? Do I need a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark? Good job. That's a question, so I need a question mark. Are the red and green dishes the same? I'm asking a question. Now, I don't see a list in this sentence, so we don't need any commas in this one. There are no lists. Number 6, the food in the red dish is hot, hot, hot. Okay, if you remember from our story, the food in the red dish is hot, hot, hot had an exclamation mark at the end because it was very hot, and that was said with a lot of excitement. So we're going to add our exclamation mark, and we do have a list. We don't have the word and, but we have a list. So the food in the red dish is hot, 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 and our first 2 hots need a comma. All right, now 10.2 looks like this, and you're going to do the same thing, okay? Now they've underlined the word pictures because that's one of our tricky words, and how, that's one of our tricky words. We have a lot of tricky words, but those would be the ones that we would be working on this week if we were in school. Okay, so I want you guys to do 10.2 all by yourself, okay? I think you're ready for it. I know you're super smart and you can do this all by yourself. You're going to either add a question mark, a period, an exclamation mark at the end, and then commas in the sentences if you have a list. So some sentences will need commas, some of them won't. So if you find a sentence and you don't see a list in it, it probably doesn't need commas. That's okay. Some will need commas, some will not. They all need punctuation at the end, okay? So you guys do 10.2 all by yourself. You can lay that aside or you can pause the video and do it now. And we're going to go ahead and get into our reader story for today. Today's reader story is In the Mail. So before we read In the Mail, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. In the Mail is, let me find it. Let me find my intro. There it is. in the mail is not in your kitty cat book, so I'm going to bring it up on the board. You do have the link. If you want to go to read it online, you can do that. In the mail is our story. You're going to see the long A sound spelled A-I and A-Y in this story. You're going to see the word mail, wait, and Spain. Those are all A-I spellings for the A sound. You're going to see play, weigh, day, and say. Those are all A-Y spellings for the long A sound. You're going to hear some two-syllable words like summer, Spanish, and written. And the tricky word in today's story is talk. And it's tricky because the A in talk doesn't follow our rules. It makes the ah sound instead of the a or the a. So that's what makes it tricky. The A in talk does not follow the rules. So, as we read the story, I want you to listen carefully to find out what Kay receives in the mail. So she's going to get some mail today, and we need to pay attention to what she's going to get. Okay, then we'll do our reader story questions. So, reader finger ready. In the mail. In the summer, Martez takes a trip to Mexico with his mom and dad. He sends Kay a card with a picture of a place in Mexico on it. The card says, Kay, I am on a trip with my mom and dad. It is fun, but I miss you. I can't wait to get back so we can play. Then there are some words that Kay can't make out. Mom, Kay says, Martez wrote me this card, but I think the last part of it is written in Mexican. Kay's mom looks at the card. She smiles. That's not Mexican, she says. It's Spanish. Lots of Mexicans write in Spanish. And here's our picture of the postcard. And there's the part that he wrote in Spanish. Why do they write in Spanish, Kay asks. Well, you see, way back in the past, men from Spain came to Mexico. Because the men from Spain spoke and wrote Spanish, the Mexicans began to talk and write in Spanish too. And that is why to this day, lots of Mexicans still talk and write in Spanish. But what do the words say? Let me see, says Kay's mom. I took a Spanish class. Martez says, you are my best pal. See you soon. Kay hugs the card and shouts, Martez is the best. And here's our picture. And that is the end of today's reader story. So we can move on into our reader story questions, and those are found on page 7.2 in your kitty cat book, okay? So we're going to find 7.2. It looks like that. And we're going to work on answering our questions, okay? Number 1 says, what did Kay get from Martez? Tell me what Kay got from Martez. Just yell it out to me. Good job. She got a postcard. So we're going to put that in a complete sentence, okay? So Kay gets a postcard. What was on that postcard? Do you remember what the picture was? It was a picture of Mexico. So Kay gets a postcard with a picture of Mexico on it from Martez. So we'll start with a capital. Kay gets a postcard with a picture, that's one of our tricky words, of Mexico is a proper noun. It's a place. It's the name of a place, so it needs a capital M with a picture of Mexico on it from Martez is a name. It needs a capital. Period at the end. So we used K, gets, and from Martez. We used those words in our answer, so we know we restated the question. What did Kay get from Martez? Kay gets a postcard with a picture of Mexico on it from Martez. We restated our question and our answer. We used capitals where they were needed. We used neat handwriting and finger spaces. We spelled all of our words correctly. We have a good answer. All right, number 2. Why do Mexicans talk and write in Spanish? And we can go back to the story to find that answer. Kay's mom told us they talk and write in Spanish because in the past, men from Spain came from Spain to Mexico. The men spoke and wrote in Spanish, so the Mexicans began to do that as well. So we're going to put that in a complete sentence, okay? Let's start with they, capital T, they talk and write in Spanish, has a capital S, because, B-E-C-A-U-S-E, because in the past men from Spain came to Mexico Spain is a capital S. It's a proper noun. And they taught, well, let's say spoke. They spoke in Spanish. And Spanish needs a capital. That's a proper noun. Okay. Why do Mexicans talk and write in Spanish? They talk and write in Spanish because in the past, men from Spain came to Mexico and they spoke in Spanish. So the language spread, okay? All right, flip your paper. All right, number 3. Do you think Martez misses Kay? How do you know? And we know that Martez misses Kay because he says so on the postcard. He tells her he misses her. He can't wait to see her. So we need to put that in a complete sentence. Martez does miss Kay, okay? We have 2 questions here. Do you think Martez misses Kay? That's the first question. How do you know? So we're going to have 2 sentences for our answer. We've got 2 questions, so we're going to have 2 sentences. Do you think Martez misses Kay? Martez, capital M, misses Kay, capital K, because that's her name, period. So yes, Martez misses Kay. We know that. How do we know? He writes on the postcard, "It is fun, but I miss you." So we can put that in a complete sentence. Martez misses Kay. Martez, capital M, wrote that he misses her on the postcard. So that's how we know he wrote it. Okay, 2 sentences, 2 answers. We answered the question, we used complete sentences, we used punctuation, capitals, and we spelled all of our words correctly, wrote neatly and used finger spaces. Number 4, how does Kay feel when she gets the card, and how do you know? There's 2 questions, so I need 2 sentences, okay? How does Kay feel when she gets the card? How do you know? I want you to answer that one all by yourself, so you can check back in the story online if you need to. You probably just remember at the very end of the story how she felt. So give me 2 complete sentences, or you can say Kay felt happy or sad and because. If you want to write 1 sentence, use the word because and just write 1 big complete sentence, okay? But answer that one all by yourself and follow all of our sentence rules, okay? That is all for today's skills lesson. I hope you have a great afternoon. Bye, guys.